Right, so how we get into these coaches is you slightly lift, again, one corner of a piece of plastic, or your fingernail say, in one corner, and work your way along the edge, pulling it out slightly. I use something like a glue stick, a flexible end, to just manipulate that plastic away from, because when you do both sides and it eventually pops off, the whole body coach of the body pulls away. And on either side there's there's 3 clips on either side which hold the body on to the chassis. You can see them there. I think there are some clips on the bottom of the coach in around here, but don't bother taking them out because all they do is hold on the upper plastic part onto the chassis. So it's just those clips, 3 clips either side, and then the whole body will just pop off. There's no other detail on the roof to take off because obviously all the detail's connected as it's one piece. Then that gives you access to the lighting unit, which just pulls off. Yeah, the light when you pull the lighting unit off, you've got to be careful to pull it equally at each end, or a little bit at each end at a time. Otherwise, you may damage the lighting board, and these are expensive to buy again. You want to buy a new one from Marklin or TRIX. And the bars that hold them in are quite clever. Those bars that hold the lighting on are splined. They've got like a tension loaded spline on it, so they push outwards onto the inside of the shaft of the lighting unit. It's quite a smart way of putting lighting on, because it fixes in place quite nicely. Like. Obviously your doors come off, you've got to realign the doors, put the doors back on, and that gives you access to the board, which we're going to solder the capacitors onto there, and then the capacitors are going to go on inside this area here, and I'm going to paint them to camouflage in. There we go, and then it's just a matter of soldering the capacitors on, trimming them, slightly offsetting them, because they need to be slightly offset when you put them back in, so they fit properly. And obviously make sure the negative side of the capacitor is on this side of the board and not the other side. And like what I've done in the other fit out, so I've just painted those to look like large luggage bags or boxes or something. When they're in the carriage, and they are visible slightly. Even in the centre compartment, they will be visible through the windows when the doors are in the shut position. So again, I've just used Tamiya XF52 flat. You can use anything, but that's what I've used. Ready to go back in now. There they are. Capacitors are in there. I'll just put the body back on. When you're putting the body back on, you just got to line these doors up, making sure you've got the doors on correctly. If you're not sure, you look at the picture of the box. To find out exactly how they're lined up. There's one of the doors. In fact, I don't know where. I've got one missing here. Where's that one gone? One's dropped off. Oh, hang on, sorry. One's on the, I think you can place the doors in the actual, either in there and then place the body down, or you can put them in the body. Just having a quick look, stripping the coach down further. We're taking the plastic upper body off. We've got looks like a negative earth strip running along the underside, which connects both lights at either end, negative and positive. And then we've got a large black metal plate, which is the weight for the wagon. That's quite large and heavy. Then we've got the spring-loaded coupling mechanism with NEM pockets and I've got the shafts which take the negative feed and the positive feed at each end, which is spring loaded. The actual connections on the board as well, these are spring loaded as well, so got to be careful not to damage any of that. Just thought I'd take a closer look. Just make sure it's working before you put the body on, which it is. Make sure all the contacts and everything's working correctly and everything's on there nicely. The way I think it's to put the body on is to hold the doors with your fingers on one side to stop them falling out. Use gravity to hold these doors in, because they come out dead easy otherwise, and then hold it at an angle and then place the body on carefully. It goes on very easily like that, but if you try doing it in the upright position flat, the doors will just pop off. They're dead easy, they just fall out. So put them on, put a coach at an angle, holding the doors at one end in the closed position with your fingers on one side. Put the doors in the closed position if possible on this side, and then just slide the body, the coach over, the coach body onto the chassis. It's a bit awkward, a bit of trial and error that, but that part of the job is quite awkward. So there we go, that's it. That took about probably 15 minutes to do. So that's the easiest one to do, because you don't have to mess around, you just directly solder the capacitors onto the board. So I'm just going to control it manually going out now. Dirty track, dirty wheel sets, no flickering. Although now it's gone onto the main lines, which aren't actually clean, but going over points, there's no flickering or anything at all.